Welcome back, everybody, to another crooked picture behind me football review. Today, the only Vapor Elite. This is the ball of choice for a bunch of NCAA teams. I think most of the NCAA teams that you see on Saturdays, if you're playing the NCAA football game, you see this ball, you see the dime, you see the Omega. But this is the one I think that most people like. Big Game USA was the vendor for this. I got it custom made, yellow laces, magenta, maroon, whatever, Nike swoosh with the yellow border. Same thing with the Vapor Elite print, no custom stamp. And I also went for the stripe and SRS stitch. We'll talk about all that. First, the usual comments here from me about the ease with which this ball can be thrown. This is a really nice shaped ball. We'll do a quick comp here between a few of the most popular ones. There it is against the dime. You can see that the Vapor Elite's a little longer, but it's also a little bit of a different shape. I think that might make it a little easier to throw for some of you, depending on the sort of width of your hand. I don't want to say the length of your hand, but rather the width of your hand. And then here it is compared to the GST. You know, you kind of see the same angle coming from the laces to the tip, and maybe same gap between the tip of the laces and the striping. And then the most doo-doo ball out there, the Omega. I don't even know if this is a real Omega. It was shipped to me as real, and I doubt that it is. I probably got ripped off. We'll talk about that when I eventually get to the review. I will call out the vendor by name so you don't go there. So, laces. Great footprint on the laces. Very, very nicely inlaid. There's no gaps in between the two lengthwise sections. And then the horizontal laces have a nice finger width, for me anyway, gap all the way through. They slide just a little bit, but not enough. And as I like to point out, these nubs, these laces are never coming off, okay? You're going to be able to get that last finger on the lace, pull it toward you, and unload this thing down the field without worrying about losing your grip. That's for sure. The laces are just leather, so there's no dimpling. For example, on the dime, you have a little bit of a dimple. On the GST, obviously the ACL laces that everybody talks about. Some people like them, some people don't. I'm indifferent. And then on the Nike ball, camera can't even focus. These things are so bright. It's a very high quality yellow, and I love the color. We'll go to the leather next. We may as well. This is the Nike Brown Playoff Leather on the Big Game website. I brushed this just a little bit for another video. This is actually the third time I've tried to make this video, thanks to Mike and Clipchamp just not exporting anything properly. So this is Brown Playoff Leather. It's been brushed for probably like 15, 20 minutes, something like that at this point. All the panels are about even, and you can sort of hear really high quality. It's very soft. Compare this to when I did the Vapor 1 review, which is about 120 bucks in Canada. It's not a cheap ball. This is about 180 Canadian, and the difference is enormous. Like, this is actually proper leather. It's a natural animal product. I can tell, at least I think I can tell, because when I got the ball, and you can still kind of see there's different imperfections along the leather. Nothing that's going to affect the gameplay, and nothing that I would say makes this a kicker's ball or like a blemished ball. But you expect to see that with leather because it's an animal product, and those animal products should have some imperfections and blemishes. Nothing wrong with that. You know, if you ever buy boots or dress shoes that are high quality, you're going to see that pair to pair. It's nothing to be worried about. I think you actually would prefer to see that as opposed to these uniform panels across every ball, every manufacturer, blah, blah, blah. That's how you know the ball is really mass produced. This is not mass produced. So it's something to keep in mind. Like I said, brushes for 20 or so minutes. It's very sticky. It's going to get softer and softer. It feels great. This is really high quality leather. So 10 out of 10 there. The fit and finish of the ball, you can see some of the detailing there. The Nike Vapor Elite text, the swoosh, the laces I've shown you. If we go to the other panel here without the valve, same high quality stuff. The striping, which is painted on, high quality, no issues, no nonsense. Maybe one little gap there, but to be honest with you, I don't know if I did that or it came like that. So shout out to Big Game USA for a high quality product there. Let's talk about this SRS stitch. So the SRS stitch, shape retention stitch, adds texture to your hand when you're trying to throw. As we've talked about before, some quarterbacks like to throw on the stitch. Others like to throw kind of off of it. But I think that because, and you're seeing this more and more, it feels like with newer balls, the stitches are in a place where the expectation is either you're going to get one finger or both fingers, no matter the size of your hand, on that stitch to help guide you in terms of where your hand is on the ball. I personally don't have a view about whether or not you should be looking for the lace or the tip. I like the tip. Pause. And then, as far as the stitching itself, you can see the quality. Very high quality. Well done. Nothing popping out. It's even across both panels, on both sides. This kind of workmanship you don't often find, honestly. And the 3 balls I've gotten for big game, the team issue, dual threat, the dime, and now this, you may like or not like the ball. You may prefer one or the other. You may like or not like the leather, the feel, but there's no question about the quality across these balls. None at all. If we, again, point to the dime here, very high quality leather on both balls. Very, very high quality finish on both balls. And you really can't go wrong, even though the price is a little high. Let's talk about the weight of the ball. The Vapor 1, as I mentioned in the video and showed through some of the slow-mo, had, I think, some kind of weight in the ball that Nike, I saw in a review. One of you asked me in the comments where I saw this information about the ball being weighted a certain way to add propulsion or add revolutions. I can't remember, but this one doesn't feel like that. It actually feels like a natural spiral, and you can see how much easier it is to just throw a proper, up and down spiral without the thing gyroscoping, right? I don't know how important that is. I don't play quarterback at a super high level. It's high enough that you need the ball to fly for a number of reasons, but it's not high enough that I really know whether or not that extra revolution or 2 every second makes a difference. So I would say that this feels more natural throwing than the Vapor Elite or the Vapor 1 does, but I'm not sure whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just noticed it in the other ball. I didn't like it, and I pointed it out. I'm pointing out in this one that is not present. Again, maybe we could talk about the lace footprint here between the two. They're just about the same. Again, these are both NHFS, whatever, approved balls. So you can use these on Saturdays, and no one's going to complain. I got to tell you guys, having bought now the GST Prime, Omega, this ball, the Dime, the Dual Threat. I had a Duke for a while I didn't like. I returned that. But I would buy that again and review it if you guys really wanted me to. This ball and the dime are neck and neck. It really is going to be a point of preference, I think, based on 2 things. One is whether or not you like the raised stripe. The dime has the raised stripe. It helps with grip. Sometimes, other times you may find it annoying. I don't know. It's not for everybody. I will say that it's very well placed. It's not overly intrusive, but the Nike Vapor 1 or the Vapor Elite, doesn't have a raised stripe at all. I'm kind of going to like this feel more as I play more quarterback and don't think as much about my grip when I take the snap. The other thing that's going to be, I think, a little bit polarizing between the 2 camps and the 2 balls is the laces. I pointed out that these laces are all leather, which is nice, and they're also very low on the ball, which is rare now. If I look at the dime's laces are significantly higher and of course have that really significant pebbling. And then the GST, my God, the GST is like it's like the Great Wall of China in terms of laces compared to either of the other 2, with the ACL dimpling and the high profile. I think that the more you play, probably the more you want something like this compared to the other 2. But we'll see in time which I prefer. I think that's all I have to say about this ball, my friends. So if you have any questions, hit me up, comments, direct messages. I don't know what YouTube allows, but you can find me there or find me on Twitter or find me on the Bitcoin podcast that I do, which is normally what I'd be talking about. But instead, I like doing this stuff now. And if you want me to review something, the Duke, for example, or if there's another ball, I'm going to do the Omega still at some point. And, if there's another one you guys want me to do and there's enough demand, I should set like a subscriber limit. Like if I get to 100 subs, I'll go pick up a ball you guys want to see reviewed and maybe give it away or something. Because God knows I don't need it. My wife will kill me if she sees another ball in the house. But I'm happy to do that. I think the thing that I want this channel to be is a place where you can see videos and comparisons for guys like you or who maybe have small hands, who are playing multiple positions, who want to start doing beer league, who want to, do something in terms of like rec football or high school or whatever, and just don't want to buy every single ball to see which one they like more. So I'll try and give you those details. I'm happy to keep helping. The response has been great so far. So yeah, until next time, happy throwing.